Elliott Wilson, man, for Rap Radar. Everybody makes fun of my intro because I'm always like, hey, it's Elliott Wilson for Rap Radar. You like that? Hey, it's Elliott Wilson for Rap Radar, and this is the truth. This is the live truth. Google Hangout. You see, I brought some friends with me, some buddies, some devoted people that watch the show. You know, we're like on our 28th episode. We feel like we're going to start doing these things, I think, every other Wednesday, right? Every other Wednesday, you know, sort of check in the state of affairs. You know, Obama just had his State of the Union. You know, I'm biracial, so I have to do my State of the Union. Am I doing good? How am I doing? R.I.P. Ed Koch, how am I doing? I got to check with everybody. So, you know, we got a great group of kids. We said we would pick some of your comments. If you said something intelligent, hashtag the truth. And you see we got people, there's people here from London.
What's
you know,
up?
International, man. London's in the house. International style. So let's introduce everybody. You know me already. Let's break it down one by one. Let's start with the young lady in the corner.
I'm good. My name is Renee. Yes.
Hey, all right. Tell us about yourself, Renee.
Well, I am the mom of a 5-year-old named Makai.
Okay, Big Mama. All right, true. You're from Atlanta, right?
I'm from Atlanta, and I'm really into health and fitness, but I came up with hip-hop, so I'm into that as well.
Okay, so how did you discover the truth? What do you think of the whole series?
I like it a lot. Honestly, I agree with most of your assessments. So I don't know about debating, but I may be doing a lot of agreeing. I especially was listening to your whole piece on the old school trying to come back.
Everybody loves that one, man. I told Jay, like, the first one, like, is like the classic album. I feel like a rapper. Like, you do the first album, first one I did, it's got like 300,000 views. Like, I'm never gonna top that. It's like it's automatic. Like, how do I beat that? It's like it's the gift and the curse, but everybody loves that first one.
Oh, you just keep trying.
I'm gonna keep trying, exactly. All right, my brother with the headphones. What's your situation? What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm from New York as well, from Westchester.
Chris from Westchester.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of snow up there? Snow? Anything going up there? No?
Yeah, we got about 2 feet.
Okay, you get real snow out there. We city slickers, man. The 5 boroughs, man. We don't get the snow like that. All right, you out there. What you got in them headphones, man? What you listening to, man? What's going on?
Right now, I'm just listening. I'm listening to your voice right now.
What rap song did you listen to right before you got in this truth call? What was the last rap song you listened to before you got in this call?
I think I was listening.
Future, wasn't it? It was Future. Admit it, Future.
Nah, I don't think it was. It was probably some Ninth Wonder. I think some like
you like, okay,
Ninth Wonder.
We're going with you. Okay, Chris. All right. So you like the truth, Chris? How did you discover the truth?
Well, I was, I like YouTube a lot, and I like just randomly go around like watching a lot of YouTube videos, especially a lot of like hip hop and rap videos on YouTube.
Okay.
And I discovered the truth because something brought me to your video, and I usually try to stay away from like the really big channels because a lot of this stuff is kind of like filtered.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was watching your thing, a lot of people in hip hop, especially when they give their like opinions on hip hop, it's usually just like something that's really like generic or just like an ignorant opinion. It's just like, yo, that's hot. Ooh, no, that's too long.
Yeah.
But like you actually like when I first listened to you, it was kind of like a breakdown, but it was like a really organized and structured breakdown of like what you thought about something.
Yes, sir.
And I kind of like that because even if like I were to disagree with it, it was still coming from like an organized like state of mind. I like that.
Yeah, no, that was the idea around it. Like, I think a lot of times you see, like, especially with like in such a Twitter, Instagram world, everybody has an outlet to have an opinion to say what they don't like, but very few people are putting the thing in perspective, and really presenting an intelligent way. And I didn't want it to be some rah-rah show where I'm just like, I don't like this thing and I don't like that one. I really try to be fair and put things in perspective. I appreciate that, Chris. Let's talk to Josh, man, the brother with the tie. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up with you? Where you from?
I'm from Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh, you East Coast too, okay? NJ,
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, all day.
What drew you to the situation? What made you want to get down with this truth situation?
Honestly, I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following your moves for a while now. I think you might.
Even my bad moves, you follow those too? The bad ones?
Bad, good, ups and downs, all that. You're my favorite writer. You might be the best writer, I should say.
I'm trying to be that.
Been on Rap Radar since day one, March 9th when it went up. My birthday, actually. So.
Okay, R.I.P. B.I.G. also.
Yeah, R.I.P. B.I.G. Yeah. So I'm just. As soon as I heard about this, I was immediately just clicked on it. Been with it every week.
So knowing me before, you knew my career before the truth.
Yeah.
Did you know that? How did you get down with? Did you watch the truth from the beginning when it first started? Like, what was?
No, I actually didn't know. Like, you were like doing this like maybe the 4th video.
Okay.
And then I went back to the other ones, and I peeped your interview with Combat Jack.
Yeah.
That was when I really got like the whole sense behind it. And then after that, I just start it's in my feed now on YouTube to catch it every week.
Cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
No problem.
You definitely are the most well-dressed brother on the call today, man.
Thank you.
Let's go to my man from London, right? London town.
What's up, Elliot? How you doing?
How you doing, my G?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Oscar.
Oscar. Okay, they didn't give you the nameplate. I can't see Oscar. Okay, Oscar. What's going on with you, Oscar? How you feel?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I've been put on. I got to say that the truth has been something that I've been looking forward to. I've been looking forward to a forum where hip-hop is discussed in a meaningful manner. And I was hoping to hear something that would provide a balance to the game at the moment. So I've been intrigued by what I've been hearing. Some of it I'm not too happy with. Some of it is the way it is. Okay. So hopefully we can get into it a little bit more.
Okay, all right, critical brother. Oscar got some critical things about to stay in the game. I like that. We're going to get to it. My man, Israel, am I saying it correctly?
Sorry?
You asking a word? We'll get to you, brother. Israel, right? With the red cap?
Yes, sir.
So where you from, Israel? What's going on with you? You showed me earlier. You got to show everybody the chain, man. Your chain game is heavy. Woo, you got that woo. All right. All right,
awesome. Now I'm from El Paso, Texas. About to be moving out to Austin at the end of this month.
El Paso, Texas. All right.
Correct. Big. Of course, we've got bad publicity here. Of course, we've been to CNN for all the Juarez killings and everything with the drug cartel. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
How's that rap scene out there? What's going on in hip hop in El Paso, Texas?
It's good. It's good. I mean, we had Raekwon come last year twice.
Okay.
We've had.
I know you was there with the Wu-Tang chain. Was you at both shows?
Actually, I didn't get to go to the other one, but I did go to one of them. We've had Black Thought come through. We've had Master Killer and Inspector Deck come through. Okay. I mean, we get a good variety of people that come through. I mean, his scene is definitely. I love it. One of my boys that I grew up in high school, he's with a group called Street Symphony, and they actually had Vinny Paz host one of their mixtapes.
Vinny Paz up in here, okay.
Correct.
Cool.
So
how did you connect with the truth? How did you discover the truth? What are your thoughts?
Mean, same thing as Josh said. I mean, I followed you when you used to write for Double XL and everything. I mean, definitely everything that you used to write. I mean, I used to love reading it, just opening up that first page and reading what you would write. Definitely, I appreciate your opinions and everything. Sometimes I don't agree with it either, but I mean, hey, everybody's got their opinions, but I mean, it's well respected.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. That's the thing, is just trying to spark this debate, man. I know we got some early thoughts for you guys. The last truth I did was on the Grammys, right? The Grammy situation. Everybody saw the Grammys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see what you guys were talking about. Josh has some thoughts about the Grammys. Josh, Nas didn't get his due. I see you said never get his recognition outside of Illmatic. You said, will Nas ever get the recognition he deserves outside of Illmatic? You're upset that the brother Nas didn't get the Grammy, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty upset about that.
You thought he was gonna win over Drake? You thought it was a rap for Drake?
I know you said that Nas. What'd you say? Drake he should win, but Nas will win. I was backwards.
I said Drake should win.
Yeah.
Nas would win. Meaning I thought Take Care was a better album, but I thought Nas being the veteran and making a great record at that stage of his career, Grammy voters would take to him, and you could make the argument that he deserved that win. So I thought he would get it. So I was surprised that Drake did win, actually. And
that's what I thought. I think 20 plus years into the game, he doesn't have a single Grammy. Like, how many more albums does he really have in him? Like, Drake he's new blood. He's going to be around for a long time. Nas may not have that much in him. So
it's funny because Drake's moving at such a fast pace where he made all these hit records. He lost a lot of nominations, even the short career he's had. He's been up for a large amount of Grammys before he finally won. So it wasn't like with all his hits that he has, it's not like he was stacking up Grammys. That's like his first big win too. You can't be happy. You can't be happy for the brother from Toronto, the Jewish brother from Toronto.
Don't get me wrong. I'm extremely happy. I've been following Drake's career forever. I'm extremely happy for him. But I think this particular one, I should have got it. I think for this particular one.
Yeah,
I agree.
For the album one. Well, I was more upset that it wasn't televised. I felt like, like I said, I felt like that to me was obviously the biggest, most important out of the categories we had. So I don't know how that decision is made. I think that's interesting. Like if you have with all our genres, like they do a lot of awards during the pre-show. How do they decide which ones make the air? Because here you had a category where they knew Kanye wasn't there, but it went to the throne and Kanye's not even there. You know, and it ended up being a funny moment because the Dreams outfit was ridiculous. But other than that, you know, it should have been about Drake and Nas sitting there in the suspense. And you know, Drake didn't even get to do his Grammy speech that he always raps about, man. We didn't get that Drake Grammy speech. Who said they didn't get that Drake Grammy speech?
Swept under the rug, man. It's swept under the rug.
All right, let's switch gears, man. Oscar has some questions. Let's see what Oscar's talking about. Oscar, you're the brother. You said you had some issues, man. Tell us which one of your questions you want me to address.
I've got many issues, man.
Okay, give me the most important and relevant one in your mind.
It's basically how hip-hop journalism is representing hip-hop. I'm concerned at the way that it's being portrayed. I'm concerned that there's no balance. I'm concerned that we're co-signing whackness. I'm concerned that we're pandering to labels. I'm concerned that we're pandering to the mass demographic, and I'm concerned about my culture. I love hip hop. I've loved it since I was a boy, and anyway, and I always champion the talent, the raw talent, and that will always be the way. I don't care how much buzz they have. It's about, for me, it's about raw talent and the people that deserve to be put on.
So who do you think's not be? There's the artists that you feel like from your region, or you feel even here in America that aren't getting the recognition they deserve? Like, who are these artists?
Well, when I say these artists, they're both in America and in the UK. And my problem is that there are always artists that are being pushed to the forefront. Artists like your MMGs, your Drakes, they're always being pushed to the forefront, which is great. They make some good music, but at the same time, there are talented MCs.
No, but who do you feel is not being recognized? Like who's not getting their due?
Like for instance, if you take one of your truths and you're talking about
you might need to turn down whatever that is.
Sorry, because I had the live feed on my phone going on.
No problem. Go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah. So if we take one of your truths and some of the hottest tracks from 2013.
Yes.
I mean,
Karate Chop.
Oh, get out of here, man. Get out of here. This is what I mean. This is what I mean, Elliott. You can't be serious about that.
I think
you can't be serious about
it. Every song isn't a righteous spiritual tale. There's party rap. There's songs that just make you. I'm not saying like it wasn't like I said. I don't even know in that song necessarily what they're rapping about content-wise, but it is catchy. Future is the best hook writer right now. And when you're in a club and you're partying and you're standing on couches, there's a certain type of music you want to hear. And then when you got your headphones on and you're vibing to another thing, then maybe not. I love all the layers of hip hop. Like I said, like if you want to tear down MMG and Drake and the dominant forces of the culture, tell me who I should be listening to balance it out. Like who's not being recognized?
Okay.
Who are the acts I should listen to? If I'm not listening to Karate Chop, Oscar, tell me the 5 songs I should listen to right now.
The songs that you should be listening to.
You like.
The short songs that you should be listening to now are Joey Badass's Underground Airplay.
Okay.
Unorthodox.
I play, but I have a show, Keep It Thorough, internet radio show. I like Underground Airplay. That's with him and Big Crit.
Big Crit went crazy on that track.
Coming out, huh?
Big Crit was crazy with the verses on that track.
Yes, that's a hot record.
ASAP One Train.
ASAP One Train.
Vado Full Clip. Joey Budden, Skeletons. Common and J Period. Who else? Even 50 Cent.
So you like more underground stuff? You like underground?
No, and that's it's not even that. I like quality hip hop.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I like quality hip hop, quality music, and stuff that says something as well as gets me excited.
So none of those type of records. There's no guilty pleasure. There's no Trina in your iPod. There's no song.
Yeah, there is.
You like, but you hear the groove and you rock out to. Like, are you that like you only have one type of hip hop that you like? You hold hip hop to this pure standard that if it isn't this type of hip hop, there's no place on your playlist.
Not at all, Elliott. Not at all. I got all the party tracks on my iPod, but at the same time, that's the balance I'm talking about. Yeah. All you're talking about is those party tracks, which is great, but but at the same time, there's a balance to strike.
No, I think so. I think there's a balance. I mean, I think with the truth, I kind of skew more towards the bigger things. But, you know, I talked about One Train when I did the ASAP Rocky thing. I mean, to be honest about Joey Badass, at first I wasn't a huge fan. I felt like his stuff sounded a little too 90s, and I didn't get his own individuality. But lately now, he's been impressing me. Like, I love the record he has with Premier, Unorthodox. I like him on Underground Airplay. I always say, like, I don't want to fake it. Like, I like that I have to make a real connection to the person. You know what I mean? Their art. And like, I'm starting to appreciate Joey Badass. And I mentioned him at the XXL as one of the picks I thought should make the XXL freshman cover. So, you know, I just feel like I love hip hop, all the layers of it. I don't like to distinguish it that this doesn't live up to this standard. You know, I support Future and I support Joey Badass. And I just think it needs to be, you know, a diversity. Speaking of diversity, Renee wants to talk about the betrayal of women in hip hop. Oh my God, this is a whole show right here. Renee, what's going on?
Well, I am the mom, like I said, of a 5-year-old, and so I view the world through the lens of both the the history of hip hop, but also as a mother. And I have to tell you that the mainstream hip hop today is entirely disappointing. If you look back to like Queen Latifah, you know, back in the day, you had positive portrayals of women, even if there was a overtly and hypersexualized image of women. But today, all you see is negative images, in my opinion, of women. And so it's difficult for me. I keep, you know, my finger on the pulse of what's going on, but he's young now and I can kind of shelter him. But I'm afraid for my son and what he's seeing today, or will see when he gets a little bit older. And I just feel like as people who are out in the limelight, it's important to take into consideration the people that you are influencing. If you're saying all I want for my birthday is a big pretty girl, I mean, come on, really? Is that all?
No, but you wouldn't mind that if there was more of a balance. That's kind of what you're saying too.
Well,
I mean,
the whole
there's two
thing,
issues,
right? It is. I think it is about having a balance, and there's a lack of one. If you talk about, you know, hip hop in the late '80s, early '90s, you had balance. There's no balance today. You have to.
You know what's funny? It's funny, like, it's because you're obviously saying your mother. It's like I'm 42 years old, so my parents didn't play me hip hop. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it fascinates me. Kids that are born in the late 80s and the early 90s, they grow up and their parents, they've heard hip hop in the house. Like Jay-Z or somebody, Nas, Eminem, these are things that parents play to their uncles. Like, so I mean, you also can play them, your children, those type of music, you know, to guide them too. Like, they should know about the hip hop that you felt connected to, and maybe they will find their own connection to some of that stuff too.
Right, absolutely. But I look at my son as just one of many. I mean, I am someone who is like, okay, I think it's important that you understand the history of hip hop and you understand where we came from and how we got to where we are today. But what about those families who are not? What about those families who are stuck up in front of BET just watching those videos and not really giving an explanation of what's happening? I just think that the onus has to be on artists to a certain extent to be true to their audience and wide in what they're covering, not just be so narrow. And I don't really blame the artist, because obviously you're going to do what you have to do to make money. But I also think it's important for people to rise up and talk about it. Like, get this discussion on on your show, on other shows, and really look at it. Because right now, women are just being objectified, as far as I can tell. I have not really seen a positive image of women. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just saw a video by Ross Fiasco and Chillax Will, and they're underground, I know, but their video looked like a video from like the 90s, you know, and their haircut, exactly. But they were still going at a woman, but in a way that was positive, and she wasn't half naked.
What do you think? You mentioned Queen Latifah. What do you think of the female MC side again? Like, what do you make of Nicki Minaj? Like, what is your take on her?
I think she is a performer and an entertainer, and I have to respect her game. But at the same time, we don't have a balance. So we have a cartoonish figure. I mean, I'm sorry, just to keep it real. We have someone who is sort of like a caricature of herself and has all these different characters. But where is the true person? You know, where's the woman underneath the wig? You know, where are the women who are just talking about, I'm a strong woman, I'm out here doing it, I have a family, whatever. I mean, I just don't hear positivity in hip-hop when it comes to women, whether it's out of women's mouths or out of men's mouths.
No, I mean, that's always been, Oscar wants to jump in, of course. Brother Oscar, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about, because if we look at the MCs, the female MCs, if you look at Jean Grey, if you look at Rhapsody, who had a phenomenal album last year, if you look at Nitty Scott, these are some of the MCs who have the raw talent that should be, I think, put to the forefront.
But do you think that, to be fair though, do you think that does Jean Grey's or the Nikki Scott's, these artists make the right record that you feel like you can take that record and fight that these programmers should be playing that in rotation? That should be played with the stuff that you feel is ignorant, like in the rotation? Like, are they making those records that will appeal to a bigger audience, or is it too pure and too underground?
Jean Grey may have had one record where I think that could have been played on radio, but other than that, I don't think there's anything in her repertoire that she could have done personally. No.
Yeah.
I think the Cookies and Cream mixtape.
I think Kill Scream was a good track. That could have gone on mainstream.
Yeah. Speaking of mainstream, Israel, I think Israel, he's mad about the mainstream too, man. He says it's a lot of BS. There's no love for real lyrical MCs.
That's true.
Some want to read books, so why listen to lyricists with knowledge? Y'all are just dumbing it down. Right, Israel?
Yeah,
too much dumbed down hip hop?
Yeah, because the way I feel about it is I think that, you know, the people who do control like radio, people who do have an outlet who like that we look up to, when they influence people by saying, you know what, this is hot, like, okay, well, I mean, it's not always hot. You don't always have to be a yes man. The thing is you know what, like, Ninth Wonder said in a tweet one time, he's like, you know what, I don't just sit around with Kweli and say, you know what, we're underground artists. That's what we are. No, we're hip hop. So we should all be treated like hip hop. We should all be given a fair listen, a fair chance. So no matter if it's a hot party record or something like that, the radio stations should try to do more to bring up these artists. I mean, what about Edo G? What about Apollo Brown? What about Hassan Maki? What about, you know, like Swollen Members? What about all these other cats who do make great albums and great songs? You know,
but you know what I feel like now too, though. But if you live in the world that we're in now, it's a lot of these other, like I think Talib Kweli at this point in his career, like for example, you know, you guys have so much power, their own economic or independent power, right? So I feel like a lot of these underground artists don't even really want that validation, or not fighting for that validation anymore. Like, they don't need that stamp to be successful in their mind. Like, they tour the world, they sell records independently, they do things uncompromising on their own terms, and they have that level of career that they're satisfied. Like, they don't want to play that game. You know, I feel like why should we lament their status when they're functioning and they're building good careers? They don't want to play the politics of that situation. In a lot of cases.
Examples are like Currency and Tech Nine and Sean Price. They have their own fan base. They have their core fan base, and they don't really care about anything else that goes on after that. They make money off their shows when they drop a free mixtape. Yeah, they're good.
Definitely. But I mean, as far as like promoters and everything saying out there, like radio stations here where I live, I don't listen to none of them because they don't play the type of music that I do like. So I haven't listened to radio in probably like 3 years. All I listen to is my iPod. So I mean, it would be nice if I could hear like Immortal Technique on the radio. It would be nice if I could hear Apathy on the radio. It could be nice if I could hear a little bit more variety into the radio stations instead of just hearing after hour Lil Wayne and hearing Future and hearing all these other cats that, you know what, it sounds all the same. It's you can't even tell the difference between all these other cats.
Can I say that?
Of course, Oscar. Go ahead, brother.
You're saying that some of these artists don't really want mainstream recognition, but I think that also they've become a little bit slightly kind of concerned about the way that the mainstream has changed. So I mean, I've got a problem.
No,
with
I'm just saying. I think all I was saying, Oscar, is I feel like I don't think they want it. I think everybody wants to be as successful as they can be. I'm not saying they don't want it in that sense, but I'm just saying that you're now more in a position where you could build your brand and not have to fight for that validation. You don't have to beg this programmer to give you that stamp because you are functioning and building a better career for yourself than you could have done 5-10 years ago. That's all I'm saying. You know, everybody wants to be as big as they want. And like Renee's point, they want to make that record where they're on the radio and they're presenting that balance, that even if you're playing like ratchet tunes, that their record has a chance to break rotation. So that way when you're listening to the radio, there are diverse sounds and you're discovering new acts and you're just not hearing the same top 10 records that you can hear in every major city. You know, that's the thing too, like now the regional divides have stepped away. Yes, Renee, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, what I wanted to say is that, you know, I guess back in the day, you had a core group of people who kind of work together. And I think if those artists who are underground can find a commonality that runs along all of them, that they can kind of come together and do like a collabo, sort of like the whole not Ladies First, so it was a UNITY, that type of thing, where you had different groups coming together.
But see, that's a good point though. I think a lot of the artists that are unifying are the ones that you feel like are dominating radio, and you feel like their music's too limited, like featuring Rick Ross or Lil Wayne. Right. All these French Montana will make a record with everybody, so they're the ones doing it. Why aren't your underground acts doing more of that? Like, why?
Well, they do. If you listen to the last album that came out with Snowgoons, I mean, they had everybody in there. They had MOP, the Snowgoons.
I don't know who that is. Who's that?
It's a duo of producers from overseas. Okay. But they do a lot. They've had German acts. They've had the American rap.
That's the one they had the single with Razkaz on it or something like that. Was that
they've had Razkaz on there. They've had Ghostface on there. They've had Apathy in there. I mean, they've had like the whole demigods up on there, along with Jedi Mind Tricks and everybody. I mean, they've unified people. I mean, you got cats who you never thought would actually work together that are working together.
Who's my man with the headphones? I forget. Yeah, brother, you real quiet. What's going on with you, man? What's your thoughts on everything?
No, I've been listening. I like, you know what I was thinking. What Israel said about how like Ninth Wonder and Talib Kweli in the studio. You know how they said they like, we're hip hop. We're not like underground or like that. I gotta say though, it's kind of like, on Ninth Wonder when when he was with Little Brother on their second album, The Minstrel Show. I thought the album was a classic, and that's a classic album. That's on the shelves right now. That's not you don't. A lot of people don't when they talk about classic groups in general. People think of like Tribe Called Quest. You think of like I can't even think of anything on top of my head. Right? Yeah, like that.
Wu-Tang fans.
Like nobody's like, oh yo, Little Brother's up there. Like nobody's really like that. And the funny part was when Drake was coming into the game, when he was, I think it was right around the time he dropped So Far Gone, right? He's like, he's going off. He's like, yeah, man, Fonte is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Fonte is really, he's really bigging him up. Like, because Fonte's hot. Fonte's hot. Are you talking about rappers in the game right now?
He's supposed to make a record with him and all that.
Yeah, and Fonte's hot. Because, everybody's like, yo, Drake was one of the first rappers that started the singing, rapping thing. I don't think so. I think Fonte was one of them.
Novel. What about Novel?
Well, I'm talking about Fonte was one of the ones that was like really good at it.
Fonte's got
hip-hop also just champion the unsung people that we wanted to be bigger, but they, for whatever reason, didn't become bigger. Like, don't we get caught up in that sometimes? But like, and also Little Brother broke up, so that didn't help.
Yeah, but Little Brother broke up for reasons just like any other group broke up, because you can't get too comfortable in that position unless you got some kind of background support, unless you got some kind of foundation supporting you. Because it came to the point where Fonte's still rapping. Ninth Wonder, I don't know what he's doing. He's on some he's doing his own thing right now. Pooh is, I don't even know what he's doing either. But it's like they got too comfortable. And what I didn't like was
weren't they? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off, but weren't they on a major at one point with the Minstrel Show? They were on the Atlantic.
Yeah, they were.
And it just didn't work out. They actually got the push. They got the video and everything, but they just didn't catch on. Famously, BT did not play them because they were too intelligent, quote unquote. I mean, they already tried. And the audience just isn't there.
I think of Little Brother kind of as like, to make like a really, really like far away comparison. I kind of like to think of them as like LeBron James in Cleveland. Kind of like how Cleveland thought. Cleveland was kind of like Atlantic Records. They were like, all right, we're going to be the success of Little Brother. As in Dan Gilbert was like, I'm going to be the success of LeBron James. And at one point, LeBron was like, you know what? I got to make decisions for my own. That's what I kind of think why Little Brother broke up. But back to my main point, what I was trying to say was how, when Drake was kind of bigging up Fonte as his favorite rapper, and then like the whole thing about how they didn't want Fonte on Drake's track or something like that.
It didn't work out, to make a song. And Drake went in that direction where he decided he was going to sing more and be comfortable with that. I think that's what Take Care was. Like, I think when he started recording Take Care, he felt like he had to make a record that kind of pleased people that were disappointed in the first album and be more like true to the underground roots of it. But then, he just decided that, forget it, this is what I am. This singing part, the rapping part, and then if they don't think I'm a real MC, every guest feature I'm gonna murder. And he does great on all those guest features that year. He gave incredible performances. So you almost can't deny his situation. I want to touch on a point that Josh said about now we live in such a social media age that you're not just judging rappers by their music, you're judging them by their antics outside the booth and Twitter and Instagram and what they say. Renee, how does that affect? Are you on Twitter? Like, how does that affect?
I'm all over it. I'm all in social media, so I'm a blogger by profession. So I on Twitter, Instagram, etc. But
so how do you think all of that has affected the art itself? Artists being so accessible to their fans, sharing so much, having wild Twitter rants and deleting their comments and all these type of things.
I mean, it leaves them more open, obviously, to public scrutiny, but it also allows us to see that they are humans just like we are. And I think sometimes people put artists on a pedestal and kind of forget that they're dealing with everyday struggles just like the rest of us. And so, as difficult as it may be, as painful as it may be to watch the train wrecks that we do see, I think it's important.
I love the train wrecks. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying, I think it's important that...
That's good for business, Renee. It's good for business.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm sorry, but I am a fan of reality TV, so I watch it, even though it's not real. You know what I mean? But on Twitter, for the most part, it is real. I mean, people are just going stream of consciousness, and then, like you said, they'll delete their thoughts. But I think it brings the artist closer to their fan base because they can see a bird's eye view of what's going on in their lives directly.
That's great. Man with the headphones, I forgot your name, brother. What's your name again?
It's Chris.
What's your take on the whole? Are you on social media? You on Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff? What's your take on how hip hop is affected by that?
All right. Well, all I have to say is that I use Twitter. I don't use anything else. But I was looking on Twitter the other day just because I'm from New York, so I'm a fan of the Knicks. So like I always follow the Knicks news, and I got caught up in like the J.R. Smith with Tahiri, and then I saw Tahiri's Twitter, and I saw how she came out with a song, and I'm thinking,
Devil, you know, rocking to the Devil joint. You don't like
Devil? I think it's whack. I think it's more than whack. I think it's an abomination of music. You can't expect.
That's gonna be my thing. I think it's more than whack. It's an abomination.
It was better compared to Tahiri.
So that Tahiri joint's not gonna be in them headphones after this Google Hangout ends. You're not gonna listen to it. Maybe you like it. Listen again. No. All right.
At least I listen to it.
Maybe you might want to follow Tahiri on Instagram. She might have some pictures you might like to look at.
Oh, right. That's a suggestion, my brother. Story, though.
All right, Josh. What's your take on social media and how it's affected the game?
I think people like to throw out the word classic a lot too much.
This Google Hangout we're doing right now, it's classic.
It's like, yeah, like,
you know what I mean? It is.
20 minutes from now, that was the best one ever.
Everyone around me feels it. It's so classical. It's classico.
Like, everything needs time. Like, Illmatic wasn't given what a lot of people call the greatest greatest hip-hop album of all time, like, in a day. You know, that took years for that to happen.
Wait, which album?
Illmatic, for instance.
Illmatic, yeah.
Like,
I'm old enough. I reviewed Illmatic. I'll give you an old man story. I reviewed Illmatic in Rap Pages, and we was mad because it was only like 40 minutes long, and it had the opening skit, and we already had heard halftime, and we had heard It Ain't Hard to Tell. So we was like, it's like 7 records, and it's 40-something minutes. Like, what jerks we were, you know what I mean? Like, but you know, it obviously was a classic, and it was great. But you know, we judge it by these critical lenses. But you know, it's hard to say something in the moment is going to be a classic. You know, that was one of the truths we addressed, obviously, the Kendrick Lamar album and stuff like that. Oscar, what was your take on? What was your favorite album of last year? Oscar?
Mine was joint Kendrick Lamar and Nas.
See, I sensed that Kendrick Lamar, brother. I was going with you with that. I was right
there.
Let me ask you, my brother. Good Kid, Mad City, classic album?
Not quite.
Yeah. See, Oscar understands. My man Oscar.
Not quite, but a really good album. Really good second album.
Cohesive.
Oh, definitely.
I got to say though, I thought Good Kid, Mad City was one of you don't see many majors right now promoting really like an introspective album. So I don't know. You can't really say whether it was whether it's a classic right now, but you can say that is really bringing something new to the table because, you know, majors don't really support that kind of music. So that was a good step.
He got to make the record. When people saw he signed with Dr. Dre and they made that Formula record, you didn't know how it was going to go. When he got to really make the record, you didn't feel like Dr. Dre's hands was on every track and the direction of it. Israel, back to the point about social media. Are you involved in that? Like, how do you feel like the world we're in now, the instant gratification world, how does that affect hip hop, you feel?
I mean, I like it a lot because, like, with Twitter, I have been able to reach out to, like, Rhyme Rekka from Wu-Tang extended family. I've been able to reach out to Black Mask, who's part of the Wu family. Also, Lucky Luciano, who's part of the Wu family, but from London. So, I mean, definitely, I mean, it's good because they treat you like just a regular friend. Like, they'll be like, oh, well, shout out to this dude, shout out to this dude. Like, they don't even know me, but I mean, you know, they're shouting it out that I follow them and that I listen to their music. They're real appreciative of it, you know? So, I mean, I like it a lot. Like, even when
nobody's had any rappers curse them out or unfollow them or anything? No drama? You guys behave out there? You don't do anything bad?
I try to troll on Tyler, the Creator, because I don't like him.
You gotta do what?
I try to go after Tyler, the Creator, trying to tell him to come over here.
You don't like Tyler, the Creator?
I don't like
It's because he types in all caps. That's what it is, right? Did all caps offend you?
I don't know. For some reason, I just can't get into Odd Future. Like, I like Frank Ocean, but I just can't get into the rest of the dudes. Like, they just...
Was I too harsh on Frank Ocean at the Grammy performance? I said he was terrible. What do you guys think of Frank Ocean at the Grammys?
He was bad.
It left my head scratching. Right?
It was a bit sticky. It was a bit sticky.
When he hit that whistle, I wanted to cry.
Yeah, I was from our remote TV. It was bad.
And I love our futures. Everybody knows. You want me to go through some of these comments? Invisible people in the room? Want me to see what's going on? All right, let me look at some comments here. Let me see what people are saying. Because it's a classic thing we're doing right now, as you all know.
It's classic.
All right, Cassidy Meek Mill. The truth is Cass dealt with Meek. The truth is you're afraid to say it. The truth is no matter how much money rappers allegedly make in this current era, they should respect the true MCs. The truth is real talent and dope lyricists should always be rewarded and held in higher esteem in hip-hop. So yeah, a lot of people disagree when I said that I felt Meek Mill shouldn't respond to Cassidy. He ultimately kind of did respond. If you saw that radio interview, he kind of kicked the raps that he would have kicked back at him, but he didn't make a record back at him. Like, anybody have any thoughts on that whole Cassidy Meek Mill battle? I know Oscar does. Go ahead, Oscar.
Oh, for sure. I think that was my comment. But you're saying that he's already come back at him. That's not hip hop, man. That's not hip.
I said he shouldn't come back. Yeah.
You said he shouldn't come back, but you said that he did kind of come back at him at the interview. That's not hip-hop.
Most recently he did this radio freestyle and he kind of showed the raps he would have kicked, but he didn't.
But that's not the way you do it. You come correct and do it properly. If you believe in your ability. I think if he is an MC, a true MC, he should come back at him.
No, but he did though. He made the Me, Myself, and iPhone. Meek made Repo. And then he took another shot. So he has to keep volleying back to everything Dude serves when Dude's not hot as him. He's got to single song he got to go back.
No, but it's not even about who's hot. Cassidy bodied him.
He body condom style too.
So he can go around saying he's got all this money or whatever. He got bodied.
Did he body condom style too? Was that a good joint to you?
What's that?
Josh, you didn't like condom style? Wasn't good?
Nah.
Did you like condom style?
Nah, man, it wasn't. That wasn't for me, man.
That right there should have spelled out everything about this whole beef thing. I just think it's ridiculous. Meek Mill should respond.
Like I would say, for example, the people always say like the MC thing is every rapper should respond to somebody dissing them. There's some. I think Jay-Z showed us that. There's some disses you ignore. Like you don't gain anything. Remember, Beanie Siegel made like 87 Jay-Z diss records. And everybody was like, Jay-Z should respond. Jay never responded, and it just kind of went away, like, in terms of that.
That could have hurt. It could have hurt Jay. I mean, you have someone who's real close to you, who's going to start spilling out your secrets. I mean, that could have hurt you.
But you can't just win on diss records nowadays, do you think? Like, look, I mean, so even if you think Cassidy won the battle with Meek, right? How does that help this status? That doesn't make him equal to where Meek's status is right now. Like, how does it ultimately benefit you? Just because you get that props is like to the hip hop heads that you won the battle, like what does it really gain you at this point?
And that's hip hop. That's hip hop. That's the essence of it. It may not make a difference in terms of sales or nothing, but it's that kind of badge.
Are you gonna support Cassidy now? If you feel okay, your man Cassidy, he's the victor in the battle, according to my man Oscar.
Yeah.
Cassidy hits you up and says, "Yo, I got my new single, Hotel 2013. It's on iTunes." Are you downloading that? Are you supporting your man Cassidy because he won the battle?
Well, it depends what it sounds like.
Okay, true. So that doesn't afford you. Like he still got to earn his own.
Oh, for sure.
It's a similar point I was making, Oscar. I said he got to earn his own stripes. At a certain point, he got to earn his own stripes. Let's see another comment. What else we got? ASAP Rocky. Fair point. I just don't like new products rammed in your face, and you expected to like it. Tell me something new. Show me something new. I don't understand what this means. What's this mean? Is that Rocky? I'm lost here. Okay, forget that. Okay, someone attacking me. Elliott Wilson clearly doesn't care about hip-hop. How can a 42-year-old man who's respected now co-sign trash? You're just interested in your check from labels. It's your prerogative, but you'll have no great legacy as you're damaging the culture. Make your money and clear off. And I thought Life and Times represented something different. You guys think I'm on the payroll from labels, man? You think labels pay me to talk about rap and
you tell us.
Popular rappers who are already popular?
You tell us.
I think I'm paid to promote the successful.
I think if you're making a living talking hip hop, then you got a great job. I don't care what anybody says.
There you go. That's what my mama says.
Everyone has a. I think everybody has a bias, you know. But other than that, I don't expect you to. I wouldn't expect you to take any checks or anything.
Is it a bias or your favorites? And if you have favorites, you can still be critical of your favorites. Sometimes you actually harder on your favorites, right? Because you judge them by a hard standard. Go ahead.
I think what it is I mean, of course you're gonna not be harsh to anybody because then you don't want to burn a bridge. I mean, you're
I can't wait to address this. Okay, I forgot about this.
You're a public, you're a public figure. So I mean, if it's something you don't like, you're not gonna really be too critical about it. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm not feeling it. You know, like you'll leave it at that. But I think
I try to be fair, but I think what people need to understand, like I've been doing this 20 years. You know, 50 Cent dissed me or this person dissed me. You have your ups and downs with artists, and it's like at the end of the day, you're not gonna always stay cool with them. When you write something they don't like, they're gonna be mad at you. When you say that they're good, they like you. So you have the ups and downs with artists. Like I document this culture. I've seen them come and go. So I don't do things because I feel like this is gonna damage my relationship. I try to be fair, but at the end of the day, I know how the cycle runs. Like you can't be cool with someone all the time. And even if you're cool with somebody, you have a rapport. Then you're held even more accountable because that person's hitting you up and knowing that they have a direct line to you. So it's a fine line that I know how to maneuver, but the whole notion that like I have to promote things or do things because I don't like it. Like I said, I generally do like Rick Ross or Future, those type of records. I'm not doing it because they're popular, and it doesn't not about being paid to do it. It's about what I connect to and what I don't, and I'm honest about it. I'm honest to what I don't connect to. And there's room for me to have a broad palette of what I love about hip-hop. I love some of the ratchet, ignorant, mainstream stuff, and I love some of the pure underground stuff. I balance both. Like, I think that's how a real hip-hop fan is. Most of us are. I think we all have that.
That's all the difference. We keep labeling it either underground or mainstream. Why can't we just be hip-hop? Yeah, why can't we just be hip-hop? Like, why do we have to label it underground or mainstration?
No, we all are hip-hop. The good and the bad. The good and the bad and the ugly. It's all hip-hop. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Renee, what's your thought on that? Am I talking too much?
No, I don't think you're talking too much at all, and I agree, and I think that
these labels is paying me, Renee. You think they got me in my G-force outside ready?
Got you in a headlock.
No, not at all. I think that you give your honest opinion about what you like and what you don't like, and all of us have varied opinions, so we're not all gonna like the same thing. But I think we can agree if an artist lyrically is doing well, or we just like the hook they have, or we like the rhythm of the beat, and we're not really listening. I don't know. There are some people who do listen to every single word. I have to be honest that there are times when I just kind of tune out, but I'm just listening to the beat. And then I'll go back and listen to the words. I'm like, you know what? I really should not like that, but I do. And I think it's the same with you. Like, you'll take various artists, listen to them, and find something that you like. Maybe not in all of them, but in many of them, and give your honest opinion about it. So, no, I don't think that you're being paid. I think that right now, with this particular show, you're probably focusing on the more well-known folks. But what my hope is that as your show becomes more and more popular, that you will highlight some of those other hip-hop artists who have not been in the limelight.
Believe in me, Oscar. What's going on, bro?
That's not going to happen, bro. I have mad respect for you, but the fact is, man, when you call something the truth, and it's from Jay-Z, it's from Sean Carter, and we know how much the truth means to him as an MC from where he came from, and so it's misleading to the people. I think it's slightly misleading because it's your opinion. It's your opinion. So this is
my truth. Which you can
it's your truth. Maybe we should call it your opinion. Because it's not the it's not the truth. It's not the truth for the hip hop culture.
Why do you care about my opinion?
What do I cut? Because you've got the mic right now.
You have the mic right now.
Unfortunately, we have to listen to you because you're with respect, you're the top guy. Unfortunately.
They just let you know, man. Oscar, I think you went gold and platinum in this discussion, man. The audience loves you, man. We're gonna have you back in 2 weeks too, man. We gotta have you're essential, man. I'm glad you stayed up, brother.
No problem.
See, he loves me. See, it's that easy.
All right, you're kind of like this at the moment.
I had a point. I forgot what I was gonna mention. Oscar took you off my train of thought. I had something to say. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. How much more fun we want to have? 10 more minutes of fun. What am I not addressing? Well, here's what I ask people, and I haven't really got a good response. We're going to go down the line. I want to know what you think the best episode of The Truth was and what the worst one was. All right? Let's start with Renee.
Honestly, I've just started watching, so for me, the best one was the one I referred to when we first started, and that was the one about...
Well, see, don't you think people like that because that was mean? Like, they like when I'm negative. Like, the whole thing is like, well, even like page views. If we did a thing on Drake's single, right? And I like Drake's single, started from the bottom. Let's say I didn't like it, right? So I go, it's Elliott Wilson from Rap Radar, it's The Truth, Drake's single. Drake's single's trash. His career's over. I'm really scared. The third album, oh my God. You know how many views that would get? That would get 300,000 views instead of like.
I hear what you were saying.
So
but
if you go negative, you're going to get more results to go negative. People.
But I didn't think that was negative. You were telling my truth. You know what I mean? You were telling my truth.
Started from the bottom.
I think you were telling my truth. So it was very relatable to me. I wasn't looking at it as you're trying to get page views. When you said what you said, I was like, yeah, I agree 100% with everything that you said. And so,
video.
People, like you said, people do like controversy, but I don't think that's why you did it. And it resonated with me because I came up in the era when these people were first brand new. So I can see where you're coming from when you say, come on now, stay in your lane. Or tell your personal truth.
Renee, what do you think? I'm asking everybody also, what would you like to see me address in Future Truths?
Okay, well, I know people might say this is kind of pandering to the owner of the site, but I do think that Jay-Z tells his truth, and I think it would be good to kind of talk about that because you look at someone who has a fairly long history in hip-hop, but he has evolved from where he came from to where he is today, but he has always remained true to his roots, and he has told his story at various parts of his life as where he is right now. And I think it's important for artists, when he called out the dream, it's important for artists to see and understand there's a time and place for everything. And just like you called out, LL's Rock the Bells, hello, where are you today? You're a father with, I don't know how many kids. So let's be true to who we are. So I think highlighting artists who have been able to do that kind of evolution, maybe starting with Jay-Z, might be a great show to do.
Okay. Chris with the headphones, right, Chris?
Yeah, what's up?
So what was your favorite or worst moment of watching The Truth? What really sticks out?
All right, my favorite episode of The Truth had to be the one where you compared Tyga on his old game show and how it really wouldn't affect his
that got
career.
a lot of views, man. That got a lot of views.
And I like that because that was probably the best episode of The Truth in terms of its literal sense. That was the truth. That Tyga got caught because he got caught like lying in the past. But the truth of the matter is that I don't think that is going to affect his career. And I think what you could have done to make that episode a little bit better was maybe tied it in to like past hip hop where people have been like, maybe like the Cassidy Freeway battle where Freeway at the end was like yo somebody throw a beat on.
Yeah.
So I think you could have tied that in. Maybe how a lot of people say, oh, you're not. Although I disagree with everybody else here saying that you don't represent the underground enough, because I think that a lot of the mainstream is a good representation of hip hop in general. But what I think you could have done to maybe satisfy those fans is tied it into the past, saying like, yeah, Tyga. I think the truth of the matter is that Tyga is not his career is not going to get affected.
I might have referenced Game. Game had the whole controversy with him being on a game show, Change Your Heart. I thought I referenced that. I'm not sure, but.
Oh yeah.
But I like you though. You're a constructive critic. Like you say something negative and then you try to be your constructive criticism. I like that. What would you like to see me address in the Future Truths?
What see you address? I like I kind of it's hard to say. It's really because I just been watching things, so it's kind of it's like really new. This is kind of like it's just only like the blossom of it, so you can't really know. But
faith in me that I'll do a good job.
Yeah, but what I like maybe what I like to see is for you to because you definitely do have a voice in the hip hop community. Maybe as like a voice in the hip hop community is to tell like the rappers nowadays like really what they should be doing, and like like one thing I think maybe you should be telling rappers nowadays is to have like an intro song to all their albums, because like back when I was listening to a lot of rappers don't do that nowadays, and I think like I was listening to Jay-Z's album. I think it was Volume 2 or the introduction, and I was just like, damn, like a lot of rappers just don't do that anymore. Yeah. And he came out hard in the introduction.
You probably mean Volume 3 with
the one
song?
Yeah,
the whole Dynasty intro is classic.
The Dynasty intro.
No, Dynasty intro is classic. Then the Hova song, Volume 3, the one with like Big Pimpin' on it.
Yeah.
But as far as like future episodes, maybe like incorporating like what like new rappers are doing wrong and stuff and how it help them.
Okay. All right, Josh. What do you think? Some of the best, worst moments of the truth. What sticks out?
I really like the veteran one about the veteran MCs. Like I didn't even know about the Fat Joe joint until you said something about it, and now I refuse to listen to it because I know it's gonna be bad. I know I'm not gonna like it, and I liked it, and the comparison between like what they did and then like you have someone like Nas, who's a veteran, who actually put out like a more mature album. He didn't go through those hoops that they're trying to jump through. It was much more cohesive. It was like much more cohesive songs in that. I didn't like. You're probably the most recent one you just did with the 2013 joints. I like the Just Blade joint was great, but everything else just sounded exactly the same. Yeah. I get it though. I 100% get it. Like the Wale joint, I think should have been on there. Yeah, but like you didn't even mention. But you gave the Drake joint like love the to that, so I guess you didn't really have to say anything about it.
Yeah. I already liked it. But what would you like to see me address in future truths? Anything stick out?
I think mixtapes should get more love.
Yeah, somebody wants me to talk about how mixtapes are better than albums and kind of break down that thing of why.
This is the best comparison I could give, right? Drake so far going on, even 50 Cent with 50 Cent's The Future. Those could probably be considered be better than 95% of what's on store shelves that you can buy right now. Why aren't we giving them more credit? Why aren't they even getting like Grammy nods? I think. We take them for granted because artists give them out to us, but we should definitely pay more attention to them. We should give them more credit than what we take.
Okay, we're running out of time. Oscar, I'm going to say you for the end, Oscar. Israel, what do you want to see in future truths?
More variety, of course, because as I stated, I love hip hop too. I love sometimes what is out there on TV, and I do love sometimes what things that do get played. That I love. Just a variety of sound. So when I keep hearing the same things, same topics with Rick Ross, Wayne, and Drake, it gets repetitive, and then you just get tired of it.
Yeah. So definitely, like what Renee said, you want to see me address kind of more underground artists and just kind of a broader palette and stuff like that. All right, Oscar, take us out of here, man. I know you have a lot of things you think I could do better, man. Tell me what I can do better. What do you want to see me talk about in the future?
Let me be nice, first of all. Let me give you the good thing. The good thing I think you did was the comparison between Nas' Life is Good and Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City. That was a good comparison, and it kind of put a lot of kind of questions to rest. The bad, oh my gosh, where can I start? The bad, I think what the thing that really ticked me off was the way you managed to keep a straight face when saying that Rick Ross doesn't need any more street credibility. I don't know how you managed to do that because that's just
very
ridiculous.
Simply. His music's the hottest in the streets for a while. Where you been?
Which streets? Whose streets? Suburbia?
Like the clubs, BMF, big records.
Suburbia?
Not my streets.
No. But in reality,
Nas because you thought Nas was running around hustling and Nas was the one in the streets doing everything that he rapped about?
We know where Nas came from. We know he came from.
He already overcame the controversy. That's my whole point. Is that? But so you think he faked the shooting because at this point,
I wouldn't go that far. I haven't got enough information to make that assumption. But what I'd like to see from you, Elliot, I'd like to see.
I love Oscar. You coming back in 2 weeks, right, Oscar? Don't
Cool, I'm there. I'm
stay
there,
up,
sir.
man. 9 p.m. Same thing, man. You got to be up. All right?
I'm there. I'm there. What I want to see from you, Elliott, is simply the truth.
Okay.
The truth.
You're my conscience, Oscar.
The whole truth. The whole truth.
You think I'm holding back? You think I'm not being truthful?
Don't hold back.
I'm living a lie.
Please,
I'm
just
living a
bring the
lie,
truth.
Oscar.
This is what we need. This is what our culture needs. Oh, well, you know.
You demand more truth from me. That's what you
Please,
do, right?
please,
Challenge
please.
me. I like that. All right, I think we're done, right? We're done, guys?
Yo, Elliott.
I don't know if it was a classic, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It's a good start.
I enjoyed it too.
It's a good start, man. We're going to do this every 2 weeks, right? So then not this next, enjoy your Valentine's Day tomorrow. Have y'all moving out here. Then, oh, look at this. Oscar got lady brother. Okay, look at this.
Yeah.
So not next week, then the week after. So what's that, 13th, 27th, right?
Yeah.
27th at 4 p.m. Oscar's going to be back here. I don't know about the rest of you. We're going to figure it out. We're going to talk about some more hip-hop, man. But bottom line, though, is I really appreciate everyone's support, whether you like it or not at times. You guys being a part of this, I really appreciate. I want to shout out everybody watching it. I appreciate all the support and the truth. We're in our second season, and hopefully it gets better and better, Thank you to you guys and to everyone out there.
Hey, check out
Rap Radar, and that's the truth.
Nice.
Check out the Snow Goons.
I don't think it was probably some Ninth Wonder, I think. Some like
you right. Okay,
Ninth Wonder.
We're going with you. Okay, Chris. All right. So you like the truth, Chris? How did you discover the truth?
Well, I was, I like YouTube a lot, and I like just randomly go around like watching a lot of YouTube videos, especially a lot of like hip hop and rap videos on YouTube.
Okay.
And I discovered the truth because something brought me to your video, and I usually try to stay away from like the really big channels because a lot of this stuff is kind of like filtered. Mm-hmm. But when I was watching your thing, a lot of people in hip hop, especially when they give their like opinions on hip hop, it's usually just like something that's really like generic or just like an ignorant opinion. It's just like, yo, that's hot. Ooh, no, that's too long. Yeah. But like you actually like when I first listened to you, it was kind of like a breakdown, but it was like a really organized and structured breakdown of like what you thought about something.
Yes, sir.
And I kind of like that because even if like I were to disagree with it, it was still coming from like an organized like state of mind. I like that.
Yeah, no, that was the idea around it. Like I think a lot of times you see like, especially we're like in such a Twitter, Instagram world, everybody has an outlet to have an opinion and say what they don't like, but very few people are putting the thing in perspective, and really presenting an intelligent way. And I didn't want it to be some rah-rah show where I'm just like, I don't like this thing and I don't like that one. Elliott Wilson, man, for Rap Radar. Everybody makes fun of my intro because I'm always like, hey, it's Elliott Wilson for Rap Radar. You like that? Hey, it's Elliott Wilson for Rap Radar, and this is the truth. This is the live truth. Google Hangout. You see, I brought some friends with me, some buddies, some devoted people that watch the show. We're like on our 28th episode. We feel like we're going to start doing these things, I think, every other Wednesday, right? Every other Wednesday, sort of check in the state of affairs. Obama just had his State of the Union. I'm biracial, so I have to do my State of the Union. Am I doing good? How am I doing? R.I.P. Ed Koch, how am I doing? I got to check with everybody. So, we got a great group of kids. We said we would pick some of your comments. If you said something intelligent, hashtag the truth. And you see we got people, there's people here from London.
What's up?
International, man. London's in the house. International style. So let's introduce everybody. You know me already. Let's break it down one by one. Let's start with the young lady in the corner.
I'm good. My name is Renee. Yes.
Hey, all right. Tell us about yourself, Renee.
Well, I am the mom of a 5-year-old named Makai.
Okay, Big Mama. All right, true. You're from Atlanta, right?
I'm from Atlanta, and I'm really into health and fitness, but I came up...
Best brother on the call today, man.
Thank you.
Let's go to my man from London, right? London town.
What's up, Elliott? How you doing?
How you doing, my G?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Oscar.
Oscar, okay. They didn't give you the nameplate. I can't see Oscar. Okay, Oscar. What's going on with you, Oscar? How you feel?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I've been put on. I got to say that the truth has been something that I've been looking forward to. I've been looking forward to a forum where hip-hop is discussed in a meaningful manner, and I was hoping to hear something that would provide a balance to the game at the moment. So I've been intrigued by what I've been hearing. Some of it I'm not too happy with. Some of it is the way it is. Okay. So hopefully we can get into it a little bit more.
Okay, all right, critical brother. Oscar got some critical things about to stay in the game. I like that. We're gonna get to it. My man, Israel, am I saying it correctly?
Sorry?
You asking a word? We'll get to you, brother. Israel, right? With the red cap?
Yes, sir.
So where you from, Israel? What's going on with you? You showed me earlier. You got to show everybody the chain, man. Your chain game is heavy. Woo, you got that wool. All right. All right,
awesome. Now I'm from El Paso, Texas. About to be moving out to Austin.
With hip hop, so I'm into that as well.
Okay, so how did you discover the truth? What do you think of the whole series?
I like it a lot. Honestly, I agree with most of your assessment. So I don't know about debating, but I may be doing a lot of agreeing. I especially was listening to your whole piece on the old school trying to come back.
Everybody loves that one, man. I told Jay, like, the first one, like, is like the classic album. I feel like a rapper. Like, you do the first album, the first one I did, it's got like 300,000 views. Like, I'm never gonna top that. It's like it's Illmatic. Like, how do I beat that? It's like it's the gift and the curse, but everybody loves that first one.
Oh, you just keep trying.
I'm gonna keep trying, exactly. All right, my brother with the headphones. What's your situation? What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm from New York as well, from Westchester.
Chris from Westchester.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of snow up there? Snow? Anything going up there? No?
Yeah, we got about 2 feet.
Okay, you get real snow out there. We city slickers, man. The 5 boroughs, man. We don't get snow like that. All right, you out there. What you got in them headphones, man? What you listening to, man? What's going on?
Right now, I'm just listening. I just, listening to your voice right now.
What rap song did you listen to right before you got in this truth call? What was the last rap song you listened to before you got in this call?
I think I was listening.
Future, wasn't it? It was Future. Admit it, Future.
Nah.
I really try to be fair and put things in perspective. I appreciate that, Chris. Let's talk to Josh, man, the brother with the tie. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up with you? Where you from?
I'm from Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh, you East Coast too? Okay, NJ, Jersey.
Yeah, all day.
What drew you to the situation? What made you want to get down with this truth situation?
You, honestly, I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following your moves for a while now. I think you might.
Even my bad moves, you follow those too? The bad ones?
Bad, good, ups and downs, all that. You're my favorite writer. You might be the best writer, I should say.
I'm trying to be that.
Been on Rat Radar since day one, March 9th when it went up. My birthday, actually. So.
Okay, R.I.P. B.I.G. also.
Yeah, R.I.P. B.I.G. Yeah. So I'm just. As soon as I heard about this, I was immediately just clicked on it. Been with it every week.
So knowing me before, you knew my career before the truth.
Yeah.
Did you know that? How did you get down with? Did you watch the truth from the beginning when it first started? Like, what was?
No, I actually didn't know. Like, you were like doing this, like maybe the 4th video. Okay. And then I went back to the other ones, and I peeped your interview with Combat Jack. Yeah. That was when I really got like the whole sense behind it, and then after that I just start it's in my feed now on YouTube to catch it every week.
Cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
No problem.
You definitely are the most well-dressed